For most teenagers, high school is one of the greatest time in their life. But for others, it's a struggle. It's another planet with a confusing language. 10% of all public school students are English as a second language learners, ESL, meaning that they have limited English proficiency. Everyone knows an important part of learning is a teacher.
¿Qué está diciendo? Tenemos que hacer el trabajo que puso mis
The standard classroom ratio across America is 1 teacher for every 15 students. But less than 1% of public school teachers are ESL instructors. That means that there is 1 ESL instructor for every 150 ESL students.
Our ESL students are scheduled, a strategy to assist our students to make sure that they're successful is to make sure that they're scheduled in courses that will help them learn the language, learn to assimilate, learn to engage and be around like-minded students, but also develop the language. We have a course, we have a language arts course that is specifically designed to help them to improve in those areas. But we also piggyback that with putting them in mainstream courses where they can also hear the language.
Some teachers don't even speak Spanish to help or explain assignments to ESL students, so they must ask other students to guide them.
When I have a student that speaks Spanish, what I try to do is I try to use words that are common words to make sure that they're understanding me. I also try to use my students that are fluent in both languages to assist me with that student.
Sometimes I feel a little slower than the other students because I can't understand some words. Like when my teacher writes something on the board and I don't understand what means the word, so sometimes I feel slow than the others.
Okay, everyone, put everything away. You have a pop quiz.
The most dreaded words to a high school student. It's already hard enough to take a quiz as a regular student, but for one whose second language is English, it's sometimes near impossible to get a good score without guidance.
Yes, I do speak Spanish, so the biggest thing that you want to do with a student who doesn't really speak English is finding a way to communicate or break that barrier in which he doesn't understand the language. So obviously speaking Spanish is a big benefit when you can actually communicate with a student who doesn't speak English. But I try to correlate as much as they can understand in Spanish and try to give them, nonverbal communication techniques like pictures and different signs to see if we can easily communicate. Once we establish that, I try to help them, for example, our bones that we use in class, try to get them to see if they know the bones in Spanish, and then we try to translate that Spanish word into English.
Yo preparo para los exámenes por estudiar, sigo estudiando 1 hora más en la noche cada día, una semana antes o unas semanas más dependiendo de qué importante es el examen.
The ACT and SAT are tough tests for all students, and their time and verbal demands make them especially challenging for English language learners. Without passing these tests, how are these students able to get into college? Without passing any tests in general, how will these students be able to graduate and acquire the American dream?